get some land right outside of Denver, maybe in the mountains, evergreen area, maybe a ranch of sorts or something to do some more outdoor education, experiential education, just getting students out of the buildings a little bit more often is something I think is an area we could grow and do more in. It would be pretty exciting.
I would love to be able to provide Grayland students with more opportunities to learn things that aren't necessarily in the curriculum. So go beyond the mesh classes and go beyond the art and music classes, but maybe specialize in things like ceramics, photography, poetry writing, bookbinding, things that sort of extend our curriculum beyond the four walls of the classroom.
I would like to see more diversity at Grayland, especially in the faculty. I think kids of color need to be seeing mirrors here, need to be seeing more people that look a little bit like them. So it would be a huge benefit to have more people of color working at this school and teaching in classrooms.
What I think students at Grayland could use more of is educational experiences that are outdoors. So like outdoor educational opportunities to possibly, take advantage of the landscape here in Colorado and that kind of experiential learning. I think students could benefit a lot from that.
I actually get quite a bit here at Grayland in terms of resources in order to provide for students. What I would love more of is time. And so I think having opportunities to interact more with students. My role entails me to work with my role here at Grayland entails that I work with the entire community. So I work with parents and families, I work with other administrators, with faculty and staff, the teachers, and of course the students. I do get opportunities to collaborate with all of you, but I would love to collaborate even more with students. It would be great to teach an elective, so I think what I could use more of is time with students.
And overall does a really good job providing resources for students. As an English teacher, I would love to have more books, just more independent reading choices, because we do provide the class novels to students, which is amazing, and a lot of schools don't do that, but I would love to have just maybe a budget set aside for independent reading books that I could really build my library with. And I think also maybe there's some gear specifically for trips that not all students might have access to that we could probably provide, but I think overall Grayland does a really good job with this.
I think that Grayland should focus on really improving their food.
There are a few things that Grayland could spend money on, and one of those, first of all, their buses. I do think that they could be a little bit better quality. They have holes in them and everything. Another thing is, I think that Grayland could definitely do better and spend more money on field trips.
So what more do you think you could have to provide for students at Grayland?
What I would want to provide to students are more experiences that raise their level of empowerment. So an example of this is the 8th grade capstone project, in which they come up with one of the 17 UN sustainability goals. They focus on that goal, they research that goal, they actually take some civic engagement to try to meet that goal's needs. And so they have this thorough experience that I think gives them agency. It has choice involved, so they get to choose what they focus in on, and they get to actually go out and experience something in terms of that engagement around that issue. So it's a little bit different than sitting down and just taking a test. And so the more experiential moments like that, where they're applying both their character, sort of what they believe and what they value, as well as their intellect to a rigorous project, I think that's what I'd want to provide more of.
So what do you think teachers and faculty get here at Grayland, at a private school like Grayland, that they don't get at a public school?
So I started at a public school, and I gave a lot of my energy to that work, but I never felt completely set up for success. I had too many students in my classes. I didn't necessarily have the resources I needed to meet those students' needs. I didn't have the professional development or the mentoring I needed to feel successful. So I think the fundamental difference, at least from my experience, going from public schools to private schools, as teaching at an independent school like Grayland, I felt like I had a better chance to succeed with students. That I could be fulfilled in my work because I felt like students were progressing and they were growing and learning, and we were doing that together, and I had the professional development I needed to make that happen. I had the administrative support I needed to make that happen. I had the class size to make that happen, and so I could really know the students and really address their needs.
In your opinion, what do you think Grayland is spending the most money on?
The financial model at Grayland is fairly simplified. It's mostly tuition dollars in and then salaries out. So the biggest expenditure is on the salaries for faculty. That's the biggest expenditure. And then the faculty, then the administrative costs and their compensation. So we spend the most money on compensating the folks that I think are the most important, which is the faculty that work with students every day.
Is there something you think that Grayland could spend more money on?
Yes, I think, interestingly, what we could spend more money on is faculty compensation. I mean, if you think of everything the faculty does for you as a student, they're not just teaching you the content of a lot of different disciplines that are important, but they're teaching you about how to be a good person and how to grow up in this world as an engaged citizen and a thoughtful leader. And we're asking faculty to do more and more for our students to make sure they're fully prepared to thrive in the world, and we should make sure that we're compensating them at a level where they can have a healthy lifestyle, a healthy livelihood, and be able to thrive in their jobs. So they need to be set up for success, not just in terms of what we offer here in terms of the culture of Grayland, but also in terms of the compensation and how we value them in a monetary way.
We spend it on teachers is our biggest expense, but next comes actually the food here at Grayland that we provide each and every day is the next biggest expense. After that, it's actually paying for all the utilities that you need for the buildings. We have 9 buildings here that use a lot of energy, and so that it gets to be a fairly big expense. The annual budget at Grayland is $17.5 million, and that includes paying all of our faculty as well as covering all our expenses. If we were to look at our budget after we pay the people, that is around $5 million. So we spend $5 million on all the different costs to run the school that help support teachers.
What area does Grayland spend the least money on?
There's a few areas that we do. Part of it is in some of the collateral material we use to market the school. So certainly as we try to attract new families to the school, we want to have some information that talks to them about what we do here at Grayland. So that's probably the lowest amount we spend here. Also probably next in line, and even though we're doing a better job of this, really has to do with paying the officers that we just started, having patrol campus all day long. And that's one area we continue to look at and invest